Well, good morning. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I just got back from the grocery store. John Wayne was nice enough to run me up there because it's pouring rain here in Kansas, probably where you are too, with this Pineapple Express or whatever we're calling the latest weather disturbance. But anyway, he took me to the grocery store, and I had to get in and out fast because I wasn't feeling my best and because he was waiting on me. So there's no footage from inside the store. But in just a second, I'm going to turn around and show you what I got this week, tell you what our menu is for the week, and if you stick around to the very end, I'll tell you a story. I just got home from the grocery store and I spent $120.16 pre-tax. Now, I was really helped out by the fact that that promotion where I was determined to spend $125 for 3 weeks in a row and get $35 off. Well, I did it. I got $35 off for that, and I got $5 off. They had a coupon for $5 off this week also at Dillon's. So that was some pretty good savings, $40 off. Got a lot of food this week, a lot of food. And we were gone all week in Dodge City, so the refrigerator is pretty bare. I needed it. I was out of a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna run through real quick what I bought from my 120.16. And then I'll tell you what we're gonna eat this week. $119 for some green onions. Some $2.29 for this Cool Whip, and I should have bought the store brand, but they didn't have the creamy, and I wanted the extra creamy for a recipe. This cabbage was about $1. Some long grain wild rice, $2.79. These tomatoes were $2.99, and I got two sweet potatoes, and it was kind of sad because the little cashier, she was young, she had to ask me what this was and what these were. She didn't know. She didn't know a cabbage or a sweet potato. And so the sweet potatoes were about $2.50, I think, for two of them. This beef and broccoli was $1.19. This Thai sweet chili sauce was $3.99. English cucumber was $1.50. Kind of expensive for some broccoli. It was about $5. Some cilantro for 89 cents. Two Greek yogurts for $1.29, which I need for a recipe. My Noosa yogurt that I love, $5.29. Some candy coating, chocolate bark for $3.29. That stuff's getting expensive. Puff pastry sheets for $6.99. Man, that's ridiculous. That's really high. I had to think long and hard about it, but I want to make a special dessert, and I needed these. $1.99 for condensed milk, 69 cents for tomato sauce. And this was $1.75 for some little tomatoes. The bananas were about $1. The dates were $4.79. Raisins were $2.79. That's the stuff that I paid full price for. Now, on sale, actually, this sour cream was on sale. They have one of their promotions, buy at least 5 and get $1 off. And this sour cream was one of the buy 5. And so this sour cream rang up for 99 cents each. I got some gold potatoes for $4.99. That's high, but I really like the gold potatoes better than red. Parmesan cheese was $2.99. That was on sale. Blueberries are a pretty good deal this week. This big container for $3.99. So I got 2 of them. These tortillas were part of that buy 5 promotion, so they were 99 cents each. Same with the peanut butter. Peanut butter was 99 cents. I would have bought 5 of these, but they didn't have 5. They only had 2. And now we're going to get into the clearance stuff. And they had this big family size tortellini for $4.50. They had Dolly Parton Southern Style Coconut for $1.12. They're clearing these out for some reason because they have a long expiration date on them. I don't eat a lot of sweets, but when I ask someone, what do you want me to bring? And they go, oh, whatever you want. I'll be like, I'll bring a cake because I'm going to make a $1.12 coconut cake. Same with this Coffee Mate. I kind of got away from the flavored creamers, though I still like them. This is gingerbread, so I'm sure it was a Christmas flavor. It's got little Christmas decorations on it. And so it was $1.50. Plus, I had a coupon for $2 off. So I got all of these for $4. They're $1 each. Some chicken for $6.54 that had been $11.51. and some chicken for $6.58 that looks like it had been $10.14. And then I had a bunch of clearance vegetables this week. Caesar salad $2.11, this broccoli mix for $1.13, these mixed vegetables for $3.63, and 2 bags of romaine lettuce for $1.57 each. Got these little steaks they were reduced to $16.84, but I had a coupon, so they rang up for $14.59. Snap peas for $2.02, some radishes for 95 cents. This rosemary and olive oil bread was marked down to $2.65, which still seems really high to me. Same with this veggie tray, marked down to $4.50, but it keeps me from needing to buy a whole bunch of vegetables for my salads. 5 avocados for 99 cents. 3 avocados and 3 little tomatoes for 99 cents. And some angel hair coleslaw cabbage for $1.13. And some spinach for $1.35. Now, not pictured is 2 containers of ice cream that I already put in the freezer, and they were on sale for $2.49 each, Breyers, I think it was. So anyway, that is a ton of food for $120. I think we did pretty good this week. So what are we going to eat this week? It's pretty rare that I go to the grocery store without a list and an idea of what I want to make. But I'm not opposed to switching a meal out if I find something less expensive. So this week, we are going to have, like we always do for breakfast, yogurt and fruit, maybe oatmeal. I'm going to have something called a harvest bowl, which is, you just kind of put different foods in a bowl. It'll be some long grain rice, some roasted sweet potatoes, a cucumber, some tomatoes, probably some beans, maybe some chickpeas, kind of a Mediterranean plate. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually. Then I am going to make spring rolls. And I don't know if you've ever made spring rolls. You use rice paper. They're real easy to make. And then you dip them in a sauce. And that's why I wanted the peanut butter and the condensed milk, because I'm going to make a peanut sauce. And then we'll also have chili sauce. You just use the rice paper and fill it with whatever vegetables you want. We usually put maybe some peas, some cabbage, some chicken, some cilantro, some chopped up green onion. You can put whatever you like in them, but they are really, really tasty. Since I found this steak for $14.59, I was really wanting a real steak, but they were so expensive. I mean, like $35 a steak. That when I found this, I thought, well, I can make it work. And so I'm going to use some of this in the beef and broccoli. And then I'm also going to make a nice salad and put some meat on top of it. So it'll be kind of a steak salad with a baked potato on the side. That's why I wanted the sour cream. Then I think we're going to have cabbage roll skillet. I've never made that before. It's kind of almost like a hamburger helper meal. You chop up the cabbage. It has raisins in it, which is kind of odd to me, but I'll try it. You put hamburger in it and tomato sauce and onions and different seasonings. So it's kind of like a cabbage roll in a skillet. And since John Wayne is half Hungarian, I have to every now and then make him some of his comfort food. And then we'll probably have tacos. I've got everything for tacos. I've got lettuce, I've got tomatoes, I've got cheese and hamburger. And we could have this tortellini as well one night if we wanted to. And that's why I got the bread, was to go with this tortellini. And then for lunches, we almost always have leftovers and salads. And we've got a lot. We've got avocados to make guacamole to go with the tacos, and I've got everything else I need for tacos, so that'll be a good meal as well. And this cheese, I'm going to try to make an appetizer where you roll it in puff pastry sheets and melt it, bake it in the oven. It sounded really good. Well, guys, I did not have extremely high hopes for grocery shopping today because it's Saturday. And usually when I go grocery shopping on Saturday, the grocery store is packed, and it was packed today. I didn't get up there until like 10:30 or 11 but I had to go today because we've been in Dodge City. The larder was empty, let's put it that way. I had no groceries, so I was forced into shopping on Saturday. As always, if you stick around all the way to the end, I tell you a story to either delight or terrify you. I'm not sure what this one will do. If you watch my videos, you know that I used to work as an investigator for a government agency. Well, this story involves an investigation that I did. I can't tell you any of the details, but we were investigating a company that had defrauded some people. And we'd sent some subpoenas, or I had sent some subpoenas, and we'd done some pre-work and gotten the attention of the company. And now we're to the point where they're coming in for a sit down, kind of like the mafia. And the business owner shows up, and he's got a couple of high dollar attorneys with him. I think they were out of Kansas City. And I'm sure he paid him a bunch of money to travel over here and hold his hand through this meeting with us. And of course, the goal was to try to reach what's called a consent agreement, where basically the company pays a fine and says they won't do that bad stuff anymore. And they'll pay back the people that they stole from. So anyway, we're in the conference room, and it's me and a young attorney. And she was really sharp and knew her stuff, but she didn't have a ton of experience. She had probably been graduated maybe a couple of years from law school. And she was one of those people who, to make up for any perceived deficiency, she always was really super prepared. And so we're in the conference room, we're meeting with the high dollar attorneys who are like in their 50s or 60s. And, they're very arrogant. And so she's sitting next to me, and the other people are across the table from us. And the way it is if you're an investigator, you don't talk. The attorney does all the talking. But you can pass notes to the attorney. And, you have a little Post-it notes, and you'd write a little note on there and shove it over to the attorney. And so every now and then, I would pass a note to this young attorney. Now, I was probably 15, 20 years older than her. And the attorneys on the other side apparently thought I was the older attorney and that she was a young attorney getting experience, and that I was passing her notes. Now, one thing about me, if you watch my videos, if I'm not smiling, I have a naturally really downturned mouth. I'll show you. So, because I have this downturned mouth, which I inherited from my grandmother, because my mom's mom had a pretty downturned mouth, but I never thought of her that way because she was just the kindest person. Anyway, so we're sitting in this meeting, and I'm passing notes to the attorney, and then the notes would be something like, look at the contract on paragraph 3. He's not telling the truth. Someone said this. I'm like feeding her information. And so, I'd hand her the note, she'd look at it, and then she'd say something like, well, what about paragraph 3 in the contract? Well, she was on top of it. And throughout this meeting, which lasted a couple hours, I'm sitting here like this. And I can guarantee you what I was thinking. I brought my lunch, but I don't really feel like eating it. Wonder if anyone's going out to lunch. I kind of feel like Mexican. I don't know, Italian would be good too. Man, I'm hungry. How much longer is this meeting gonna go on? Can't we just reach an agreement? We've got you. We've got all the evidence. You're going down. Why do we have to talk about it? So that's what would be going through my mind as I'm sitting here. Nothing about them. Usually nothing about the case. All about food. Or what I'm gonna do after work. And so we reached an agreement. They paid a lot of money to settle it. And after the meeting, I got up and I went to the restroom. Well, because it was a government building, the walls are like thin as paper. And these attorneys and their client, after they'd all said their goodbyes to the young attorney, they had gone out to the elevator, and they were standing out at the elevator, which was next to the women's restroom, and I could hear everything they were saying. So I'm washing my hands and I'm listening to them. We've already reached an agreement. And I hear one of the attorneys say, I think we got the best deal we could expect, because that old attorney only, he didn't say that. He used some really negative comments about women. That old attorney, did you see the look on her face? Man, that sour expression, I knew we weren't going to get anywhere with her. She kept passing notes to the young attorney, telling her not to, and so they assumed that because I was older, that I was passing her notes about how to handle the case, when I wasn't. It was just notes about what they were saying. And so they had reached a much higher settlement than they had hoped to, because they thought I was so difficult that they were never going to get anything past me. Now, if those high dollar attorneys were smart, they would have listened for my name when we were introduced, and I introduced myself as an investigator. I, would never pretend to be an attorney. And so they just weren't paying attention. And their inattention and their, I guess my disinterested stare psyched them out to where they reached an agreement much higher than their client had hoped for. So never make assumptions, right? And never say bad things about women. I'll tell you, it will come back to bite you. I don't know why men use terms like that, derogatory terms about women. I think they feel very, very threatened. And that's the only thing I've ever been able to come up with as to why a man would speak like that. But anyway, it was really funny. And then when I came out of the restroom, they're still standing there in front of the elevator, and I just look at them and walked off. And about that time, they all three became very interested in their shoes, and they were just staring at their feet, standing at the elevator. I've never seen a dog with its tail between its legs like that owner and his attorneys. And so don't defraud people. Be honest and be nice. Don't make assumptions. That's my advice for you today. Oftentimes, though, I will say, when people get defrauded, there's a large part of it that is greed. You've got to protect yourself. You really do. If it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Don't fall for a line from anybody. Protect yourself. Anyway, that's all I have today. And I hope you have a great weekend. Leave me a comment, and I will talk to you soon. If you subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you're going to miss out, because you won't hear the next story, and you won't see the great bargains. You won't have meal ideas or learn anything about how to save money. And you want all of that. You know you do. So please subscribe. Help an old lady out. I'll talk to you soon.